Hey folks, if you're ever here in Dawson City, you got to come up to 8th Avenue, which is known locally as Writers Row or Authors on 8th. Now we call it that because this is where you'll discover the one-time homes of Robert Service, Pierre Burton, and this cabin here, which once was the place where Jack London lived. Now Jack London came up here during the gold rush of 1898. He was just a prospector looking to make a fortune. And we know that he lived here because he put his signature on the wall, Jack London, miner, author, January 1899. Now, this cabin was discovered in Henderson Creek, which is about 150 kilometers south of Dawson City. When he put his signature there, it was of no particular importance. He was just another miner coming up north to strike it rich, which he didn't. He did get scurvy, and he did leave here pretty much penniless, but he did leave with stories, and he had met some incredible people. You know, the gold rush was an incredible time with incredible characters, and Jack London soaked it up. When he left here, he always thought, I'm going to go back. He was enthralled with the North. And like most prospectors that came here, it was probably the most significant thing that most of them went through in their lifetime. And it was the same for Jack. Once he got back to California, he started to write fervently. At one point, he actually wrote to one of his friends that he had been prospecting with on Henderson Creek. And he said, I plan on coming back to the Klondike. I'm full of myself with the Klondike. And that's really where I found myself. And unfortunately, he never did make it back. But what he did do was he became one of the most famous authors of the 20th century. So much so that when this cabin was discovered in the 1920s by a few trappers just looking for furs, they saw the name Jack London, miner, author on the wall, and they said, could it be the same Jack London who's like the most famous author there is at this time? It turned out it was. And what happened was that this cabin was actually split in two eventually when it was discovered. Half of it lives here in Dawson City, half of it lives in Oakland at the Jack London Square. We encourage you to go see both of them. But if you want to discover Jack's time here in the Klondike, there's no better place than the Jack London Museum at the Jack London Square here. You can see his cabin, and you can visit our museum where we do daily interpretation of his time and adventures here in the Klondike.